Hey everyone, good morning. We are so thrilled to be kicking off your morning here at the Teach Better Today morning show, where the Teach Better team gets to be live with you and kick off the morning, sipping coffee alongside you every single morning at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's 6 a.m. Central, just to confirm. So please, wow, this Kate takes a big
That was like not even planned. That was perfect.
Everyone just take a sip of coffee. I promise we'll be right back. We intend to have some sort of conversation this morning, and we're just thrilled you're here. So put in the comments where you're listening from, or if you're listening on Teach Better Talk podcast, do not forget to write a review, because I was reading them the other day and we haven't heard from all of you. So anywho, we'll be back. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Teach Better Today morning show with the Teach Better team. Hi, Katie.
Hi, Ray. Good morning.
I'm trying to look at the reviews. Shout out to Elijah who wrote a review.
Thanks, Elijah.
Elijah, we've met Elijah 100 times, but this is cute. Like, he wrote a review. It says, "I love this podcast. It's centered around educator stories, takeaways. It's so sweet. Mr. Engagement, no clue who that is, but I like the handle. Says, I love the diverse topics. Yeah, it's so fun. So fun. You guys should give us a 5-star rating.
And if you don't want to give us a 5-star rating, just carry on with your day.
Yeah, and if you don't want to give us a 5-star rating, could you ask a friend to do it so that you don't have to
lie?
Do it yourself. Yeah.
We don't support lying.
That would be bad. Good morning, everyone. It is September 11th, so there's obviously a lot going on today. But before we get into any of that, I have a separate serious question that Katie's already annoyed with.
Anytime you say I have a serious question, I assume it's only partially serious.
Guys, I really want to be cool and I want to be able to wear these. Look at these glasses.
Okay, you guys, I want you to know she put these on earlier and I told her no.
So why? I want these to be cool. They're readers. I'm cool enough to do that.
You can, here's the thing though. You have to read then in order to wear them, A, and B, that means you don't have to wear them right now because you're not reading anything.
But it allows me to see your face up close and personal. Just look. Okay, here's my argument. I feel like it's not doing it justice on camera, but these are like really vibrant, fun green. Do you see?
They're just a lot for your face.
Why? I just think, are you saying my face is dainty?
I mean, kind of, but also like there's, I don't know. I just feel like it's a lot.
It feels like I aged 10 years or like 20, and I feel like a designer in New York.
You're not any of those. You're not any of those things. Let's just we'll take it to a vote in the comments. You can pull off near about everything you ever put on. However, should she wear these? Because I'm going to remind everyone, she is not a designer in New York. She is an educator in Illinois.
Okay, do you know how sometimes you watch shows and you're like, God, in another life, I would. Okay, Katie, for example, watches really ridiculous documentaries on filthy stuff, like murder and I always joke that she watches Naked and Afraid. She wants.
Which I don't, for the record.
Katie watches gruesome, crazy stuff because she finds other people's crazy lives fascinating. In another world, I was not a documentary person for murderers like you were. I was a fashion designer in New York telling people that's out of style and they should put on something else.
Okay, I wanted to be clear that I would never dress up as a murderer, even though that's what I prefer to watch. So
I'm just saying, if these were as light on camera as they were in person, you might like them. I think they look
Maybe.
black. They
Do
look
you
like
notice
really
the more
dark.
we talk about them, the closer I get as though I can see them better? So, like, sorry for all of you getting, like, all of my face and pores this morning. It's the glasses are sucking me in. I don't
Maybe
think
that's the point.
they're
Maybe
not.
you're drawn to them and therefore it's amazing. Also, they're like 2 pounds. They're
I was gonna say, they
so
look so heavy. You're gonna have a headache by the time we're done recording this.
I just think sometimes it's okay in fashion or in our clothing choices or jewelry choices to step out of your comfort zone and
True.
try something new. And I
True.
don't know what all of you are wearing to school this morning, but I hope that, it's a little more pop of color than you normally wear. Maybe it's a jewelry, like an inexpensive jewelry piece you bought to kind of feel cool, or maybe it's glasses that you bought on Amazon because you needed new readers. Maybe.
Okay, well, I look forward to seeing the comments to see.
Like, these are so cool you can't see them, but like
Here's the thing,
on
you're
the
swaying the audience. You are swaying them by continuing to talk about how cool they are.
what if I put them here?
They like blend in with your dark hair. Okay, first off, don't break things. You don't need to be aggressive.
Whatever. Okay, I'm gonna wear them in the privacy of my own office.
You can wear them every once in a while in a meeting.
I have other readers that you don't dislike.
I do like your other readers.
Yeah, I wear glasses.
Okay, but can I also be honest? There's like this whole movement of glasses that I don't get. And I like anyone who knows me, I'm like a day late and a dollar short with fashion in general. Like it'll be in style for about 2 or 3 years and then eventually I'll own it because I'm like, man, do I invest in that? Because it might go out of style next week. That's my life. But there's something interesting happening with glasses. Like my grandpa owns the same glasses that a lot of
like
wear.
Right? Yes, I have those too. They're like the gold aviator readers are back
with like the bar thing. Yeah, I don't understand. So like this is the thing. Take my opinion with a grain of salt. I also don't get fashion because
okay, I won't lie
about every other live we've ever had. So
I will wear those on a future episode because I love you're right. Like the old man glasses are back. I was not a fan, and then I got some, and now they're my favorite glasses. And then I have like normal glasses that are like more circular with like the like more low key, and I like don't reach for those anymore. But
I don't get it. But I don't get a lot of things,
Are you saying we should just have like a glasses like show every day? We show up with different glasses.
I don't know that we'd get a lot of people to watch that, but like, sure.
Okay, but jewelry, all fashion, like everything like goes up and then it goes away and then it comes back and then it comes like that's education.
I can't keep up. That's it.
Yeah, education does the same thing where it's like, oh, it's a fad, now it's gone. Oh, and like that, okay, I will say in education, it drives me bonkers. In fashion, I think it's great because then I just put stuff away in my closet and I'm like, don't worry, in 10 years I'll wear it again.
That's kind of where I'm at though. Like, I'm like, dang, why did I get rid of like my bell bottoms? Because I can't. I know. I can't really honestly either because they get caught in things and like,
that is one thing that I don't like right now. Like 20s is back, like early 20s or like late 90s fashion is back. Yeah. Guys, that was really bad when it was there. Versus if we go back to the 60s, I'm like, yeah, I like that vibe. So,
I'm going to guess that people didn't wake up this morning to hear about this, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe. But I feel like we might have some meat and potatoes that we could get into that's like beneficial to people.
We do need to find some way to describe our team talk that isn't meat and potatoes, because when I listen back to the show, which I do on occasion, it's not the right vibe early in the morning to be like, let's get into meat and potatoes. Like if the show was in the afternoon before dinner, I'd be like, oh yeah, meat and potatoes. But
what about like eggs and bacon?
I guess, but I don't eat bacon, so it feels. But yeah, for all of you, do you like eggs? Put in the comments. Do you want it like eggs and bacon? Should it be like coffee and croissants? Should it be
fancy?
I don't know. I was trying to go. Should it be biscotti and biscuits? No, wait, those are the same thing. Biscotti and what's a B word that has to do with a beverage? Someone give us something. We'll think. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Teach Better Today morning show. We are apologizing for our crazy start to the show, but hey, it is now time for the biscuits and gravy here on the Teach Better Today morning show.
That's a change.
I don't like it. I don't know.
No, we're gonna need help if you're in the
It's time for the cappuccino and croissants. What did I say? What about espresso and eggs? Ew, I don't know.
What if people
It's
don't? What if you don't eat breakfast? Like, what if it's like my
you're
protein
right.
shake and water?
It's time for the chips and salsa, guys. Let's get into it.
Ooh, I can get behind that. Done
Yeah.
and done. All
You're a chips
right.
and salsa lover.
Well, today, Ray, is I don't, it's not like a national holiday. Like people don't have today off necessarily, but September 11th,
Day.
big point in history. What'd you say?
It's Patriots Day, isn't it?
I don't know.
Katie, you're a bad American.
I didn't know it was called that. Patriots Day?
Are you going to Google it right
I
now?
am going to Google it because I'm going to be so embarrassed if I didn't know it had an actual name.
I really don't
always
think I made
thought
it up.
September 11th.
I mean, obviously September 11th is like colloquial. We were all alive for it. So of course.
Right.
What's Google telling you?
I don't,
You're like
it's giving me the movie and the football team. So
no, guys, is that what we are? Where it's been like so many years, so now Google doesn't even come on.
Okay, this is interesting because the graphics. Okay, here we go. Question. It says, is it Patriots Day or September 11th? It's saying Patriot Day and National Day of Service and Remembrance is September 11th. But here's what's weird is when you Google Patriots Day 2023, it shows up as in April. But the graphic is September 11th. So
anyway, it's a day in history that the majority of us watching the show have vivid recollection of, and obviously something that is going to be prevalent in our day-to-day lives, but especially in education, because for many of us, we're teaching students that may not have been alive, but weren't alive for 9/11.
right.
So I think there's some balance here between, I know that there's like so many different resources, and please, if you're in the chat and you have them easily accessible, like so many different resources of things that you could do activity wise to discuss September 11th with your students, whether you're a kindergarten teacher all the way to if you're a senior in high school educator. But I think the element that I find so interesting and so important is bringing some awareness to our students how recent these events were. And maybe that's where we take our conversation this morning.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting piece of history because there are a lot of obviously big monumental moments that we know as adults that will become a part of history, right? Like I'm sure there's lots of people who can remember these moments in time that was like breaking news and you just had that feeling of like this will become a moment in history. But this was such a big, it like impacted so much. But the problem is that our students only see it as a piece of history.
Yes.
And so I think bringing that personal side is super important. And I know you and I taught math. And so, while it doesn't necessarily directly tie to your content, it is important to acknowledge it because there's not many moments in history that we teach in a standard curriculum that the adult educating the students can say they remember things so vividly. And I think that's what makes it such a different moment in time. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, completely. And so I grew up Jewish, and a huge element of growing up Jewish was, and I mean this in like a very like positive, but I'm gonna say it dramatically, like the focus was like to shove down your throat the Holocaust. Like I mean that like very dramatically, but it was like every year we were going to teach these kids going through, Jewish Sunday school about the Holocaust. They have to remember it. They have to educate others, blah, blah, blah. And it was so interesting because then I obviously like grew up. I had friends that grew up in all different, backgrounds. And I realized that really wasn't the focus. But my experience with the Holocaust was that it was something that was always discussed. We had to meet all these Holocaust survivors. Like, it's something that they really wanted to show the recentness of this. Like, it wasn't something that happened in the past hundreds of years ago. It was something that happened to, our parents, our grandparents. And, even the statistic that Anne Frank, who's very, very famous in terms of her writings when experiencing the Holocaust, was born the same year as Martin Luther King Jr., who many of us see that as like very two different time frames in history.
Yeah, like recent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's an element here of making sure that we bring to our students some perspective on the relevancy of history and how can they find a connection to the relevancy of this point in time. Because while obviously 9/11, the Holocaust, all these other like major events we should study and be aware of and be better with, I think it's going to be special and add a lot of perspective for students to know that somebody that they're connecting with, their teacher, was experiencing that as a young adult. And it wasn't something that didn't impact them. So it's my circle around way of discussing it. But
well, I think an easy thing that you can have students do, regardless of your content area, regardless of how in-depth you want it to go, as a thing I loved doing is having students either the day before, so in this situation it would have been last week, or tonight, have them go home and ask their parents, where were you when you heard the news? Because if nothing else, it just helps students understand that while, maybe you don't live in New York, or maybe you don't, didn't know anyone that was like directly impacted. Sometimes it's really hard for students to feel that connection. And I know, we taught middle school. And so sometimes they'd be like, oh my gosh, we've talked about this all day. But like sometimes when they can go and literally ask any adult in their life, and an adult can say, this is where I was at and this is what I was doing, shows them the importance and the significance of the timeliness. And so I think that it's just such an easy thing because it kind of helps students like get it. They're like, oh, literally every adult that I ask can tell me exactly where they were, what they were doing, and like, kind of
how their day was impacted, how their week was impacted. I like that activity because that is something that even if you've not prepared anything this morning, you can go and do. I would like to give a shout out if you are putting resources in the comments. Thank you for that. I think there's so many different ways for us to honor this incredible day that needs to be discussed. And I also think that rather than harping on the horrific tragedy of who was impacted and what resulted in the events of 9/11, I think there's also an element of creating a human connection of talking to the adults and experiencing what everyone experienced. Everybody had their own day that day. And I think it's so special to share those stories as well as obviously the historical component. So, yeah, Katie, I think that's a great tidbit. I remember exactly where I was, and I'm sure many of us here in the comments do too. So.
Yep.
Well, we hope you all are finding some balance in your day to consider how we can commemorate today's events and also celebrate educating our students to better connecting with history. Katie, I know that we have a lot more to come in future shows, but I think this is a good spot for us to leave our community and wish them a wonderful day ahead.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah. Thanks so much, friends. We will see you very, very soon. Do not forget to make Teach Better Today morning show a part of your morning every single morning at 7 a.m. Eastern. And please also, if you're comfortable, share this feed wherever you're watching or refer a friend to the show. We really love being able to connect with all different types of educators. So if you have a new mentee that has been in your school building or a new leader that you think might benefit from hearing some educational discussion in the morning, make sure to tag them here. We'll see you soon. Hey, Teach Better community. Thank you so much for joining the Teach Better Today morning show every single weekday at 7 a.m. Eastern. We have so many resources for you outside of this live stream at teachbetter.com, including blogs, podcasts, and professional development that will bring our team to your school. Wherever you are listening from this morning, please make sure you are sharing and celebrating the incredible educators in this world. And hey, if you are listening over on a podcast to Teach Better Talk, we would love a 5-star review. The comments are always so entertaining. We'll see you tomorrow.